to week 3. So what are we looking at this week? So I'm going to be looking at doing some baseline testing. So the last couple of weeks have gone pretty well. Obviously I was struggling at first, but getting back to normal now. Feeling pretty good after the riding I've done. Last week I did the biggest week I've done for a long time, managed 11 hours on the bike, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is compared to what I had been doing over the last sort of 6-7 weeks when I was pretty ill over Christmas and just post-COVID. And things are starting to look pretty good now. So I've decided that this week it is time to maybe set some testing and do some baseline testing. Obviously Boris announced that potentially we're coming out of lockdown soon as well, so hopefully events are going to start coming back. So I want to get some testing done and start setting some goals, working towards some certain events, get my training zone set, ready for some structured training starting hopefully in a week or 2 as well. So if we're looking at my week on Training Peaks, I'm just trying to look at where we can fit them in as well. So obviously kids are back at school, so I'm homeschooling them at the minute, back at work as well. So not as much time this week, so it's looking at where we can actually fit these sessions in. So I am going to be looking at doing my FTP test tonight. Usually I would do that as a separate test, just using the Wattbike software and doing a 20-minute functional threshold power test. Tonight I'm actually going to try and combine it and do it during the WTRL race league on Zwift as well, because our team is short on numbers, so I am looking at joining that as well. And then I have got some other commitments in the week with regards to some road rides I've agreed to, and I'm not really wanting to do too many hard efforts still as well, but just sort of getting back into things. So I'm just going to do the FTP test tonight hopefully, and then look at fitting in the UCI Power Profile Test maybe at the weekend after another rest day as well. So once I've completed the testing this week, I will be sharing all my data with you, just to have a look at where I'm at. I don't envisage to be anywhere near where I was this time last year or the year before when I was probably at my fittest. But it's just about setting them baseline numbers so I can set some new training zones to work towards. So I'm going to be logging on to Zwift in probably just over 20 minutes time. I will be starting off with a good sort of 20-minute ramp warm-up, following the British cycling warm-up. Put a few efforts in there, ramping the power up, and a couple of bigger efforts towards the end, and then hopefully getting ready in time just for the start of the race. Now the issue with doing an FTP test during the WTRL race, for those who've raced on Zwift will know that the start of the races do go off crazy. Probably not the ideal start for an FTP test, so I think the plan is I'm going to look at maybe not starting my actual 20-minute focused effort till maybe a couple of minutes into the race, and maybe even a little bit longer once I feel like things have settled down a little bit. Then I will decide when that focused 20-minute block's going to be, and I'll just ignore the race, and I'll just sort of try and hold where I want to hold for them 20 minutes. And then we'll look at identifying that later on in Training Peaks. So wish me luck. Not that I'm looking forward to this, but we'll see how I get on later on. Starting my warm-up on the Wattbike for tonight's efforts. So like I say, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing this the way I'm doing tonight. Usually I'd probably just focus on actually completing an FTP test, whether that be just doing the 20-minute test following on the Wattbike, or whether I'd actually just do it on Zwift. There's lots of different ways. Obviously, rather than doing the 20-minute FTP, we could do a ramp test, step test, various different ways I'll talk about in future. But for tonight, I'm literally just going to be doing my 20-minute window of effort during the Zwift race. I'm getting a good warm-up in now, 20-minute ramped up effort, get me ready for the race to come. And I'm going to pick a 20-minute window duration, probably somewhere maybe after the first 5-6 minutes, and then focus for 20 minutes, constant power, just focusing on my threshold effort, trying to forget what's going on in the race and not reacting to anything. as I thought, that wasn't the best idea in the world. Yeah, race went off far too fast, and I couldn't resist, went with it as usual. So far too hard of a start, first 2 minutes, and then I ended up riding with a little group off the back to complete my FTP effort, 20 minutes. So we'll have a look at the data later. But yeah, it didn't look great. I think around about 250 watts for the 20 minutes. Well down, but probably after the too hard of a start, and obviously just generally not fit at the minute anyway. But hit the baseline, something to start with. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to do an FTP as I've just done tonight. Usually do that, focus on that, try not to have any other distractions. The next time we do it, we'll be doing proper full FTP, usual setup that I would do, and I'll walk you through how I'll do that next time. But yeah, time to go and sit down now. Morning. Alright?
Yeah, not too bad.
Late as always, mate.
Yeah.